All right, so 12 is very similar to number 11. So why don't you guys try it real quick? So I'll give you a quick stop. 3, 2, 1, pause. All right, so now let's try this together. So very similar to one we talked about 11. So let's try this one out. So there are 32 teams in the NFL. Each team has 53 players on the roster where each player has 2 uniforms. The cost of 2 uniforms to make is $100. For this year, what is the total cost of all the uniforms? So that's what we want, right? W, total cost. So again, just like the last one, let's write down some equivalencies we have just to begin with. So the first one is actually on the second sentence. It says each team has 53 players. So we'll say 1T is equal to 53 players. Right? Okay. Next one, it says each player has 2 uniforms. So 1P equals, let's say, 2U for uniforms. Okay. And the last thing it says that the cost of 2 uniforms is $100. So 2U equals $100. Right? So now this is the one who gave us 3 equivalencies. 1, 2, and 3, which means the only thing we haven't used is that. So therefore, this is our given. Okay. So always start with given. So 32T, we got the teams. Now, just like we did last time, right? My goal is to get the cost, but I'm not going to go, straight to there. I just want to see how do I cancel out the unit I don't want, right? Because I want money, right? Price. So what equivalency can I cross out team automatically? And that's using the first one, right? One team equals 53 players. So I know for every one team, there are 53 players. So cancel. So therefore, how many total players do we have? So 53 times 32. 1,696. Okay. Again, we're not done. We want money, so we keep going. All right. Well, next equivalency goes from players to uniforms. So that's the only way we get rid of players. So for every one player, there are 2 uniforms. So those cancel. So times it by 2 now gives us 3,392 uniforms. Now we're almost there, right? Now, last equivalency gives us the money-wise we want, right? So again, this is over 1. And now 2U equals $100. So same process as above, right? You just literally just want to multiply across. So use cancel, that's for sure. So multiply that by 100. Gives you, right down here, $339,200, and then divided by 2 gives you your final answer of 100,069.60. Okay. So a fun little one, when it comes to it. 11 and 12 are pretty fun. Just, showing you guys that, in the question, they're going to give you equivalency. So you can always not, just don't depend on the ones given to you. That's always going to be the case, right, when it comes to it. Okay. Now, the last thing about this chapter is something called a complex multi-step one, or converse one. So what that means is both the top and the bottom of the fraction have units themselves. Okay. So for instance, miles per gallon, right? The way you guys drive a car, right? How much miles per gallon your car has, when it comes to this, both units are top and bottom of the fraction. So the question now becomes, how do I convert stuff like that? So it kind of looks like this there. So we want to convert 2 feet per hour into inches per minute. So essentially what this is looking like, right? I have 2 feet over hour, and I want to convert this into inches per minute, like that. Okay. So when it comes to things like this, what you really want to do is just convert individually. So I'm going to ignore the bottom. I just want to go from feet to inches. That's it. Using the same thing we did before. I'm just going to ignore the bottom. Okay. So I'm just going to have 2 feet per hour, right? Okay. I just want it. My goal is to go from feet to inches. Okay. So what equivalence do I know that goes from feet to inches? Okay. Well, we talked about that earlier, right? There are, for every 1 foot, there are 12 inches. So those cancel out. So 2 times 12 gives you 24. Now notice this just goes along for the right. That's it, right? I'm just ignoring it. Just keep going portions. So now I converted 2 feet per hour into 24 inches per hour. Okay, now notice I'm good. It's at the top. I don't have to touch that. Now what I'm going to do is convert hours into minutes using the exact same process we just did. Okay, so starting here, well, how do we go from hours to inches? I mean, hours to minutes. Well, there are, for every 1 hour, there's 60 minutes. Now this time, I'm not going to put 60 minutes because I want to cancel hours at the bottom, right? And so notice it's not at the bottom, so therefore hours must go at the top, and then minutes must go at the bottom. It's the only way those cancel. So for every 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. So hours go away, and this time we have to divide, right? So 24 divided by 60 gives us inch per minute. So 24 divided by 60 gives us 0.4 as our answer. So that's how we do a complex one, is you literally just do one at a time. I cannot emphasize as much as I possibly can. Just literally just do one at a time, and eventually you will get the exact answer there. All right, so let's try one more. 14 on the next page. Okay? So convert 35 days per inch to hours per feet. So this is 35 days over inch, and we want hour per feet. All right, so again, just do the top first, right? That's all we're going to do. Just do the top. So I'm going to start with 35 days. Now, how do I go from days hours? Well, we know equivalency. For every 1 day there are 45. For every 1 day there are 24 hours. This focus is annoying me. Okay. So that means for every 1 day there are 24 hours. Okay. So cancel those out. So therefore, how many hours an inch goes into it? So 35 times 24 gives you 840. Okay, so that's what we got, right? Hours, check. Now we go from inches to feet, doing the exact same thing. So we start here. 840 hours per inch, and now we times it, okay? Well, what equivalency do we know that goes from inches to feet? So back again, right? There are 12 inches for every 1 foot, but this time, inches must go on top because that's the only way to cancel on the bottom. So for every 12 inches, there's 1 foot. So in this case, feet on the bottom, and now this time we multiply 40 times 12, which gives us a grand total of 10,080 hours per feet. So that's how you do a complex multi-step, meaning you have conversion of top and also the bottom. Okay. All right, that is then for this chapter. Next chapter we'll go over household and metric system.